So in IPv6, we understand a lot of things, right? Let me just recap those things in a previous class, what I explained to you, right? So I explained why IPv6, right? What was the problem with IPv4, right? The addressing problem. There was limited address, but IPv6 having the unlimited address. Trust me, it's unlimited address is the correct sentence. Sentence means the number is too big. It's too big. Even you can assign the every single piece of the devices which belong to universe, not only the earth, right? So it's too big number. So because number is too big, it having a lot of capability in terms of the assigning the addresses. So you can see where was the range. Let me see. No, there is no range. Somewhere I written there IPv6 basics. It should be IPv6. Yeah, this is the. Oh my God, why it's come here? Okay, IPv6 should be there. So see, this is the big number. So even you can not able think about that. So it's very unlimited numbers, what we just discussed in our previous session, right? And there was a problem in the IPv4 because they're having a limited number of the address. That's why you use IPv6, and IPv6, having a lot of addresses can be used to devices. Now we understand what are the address type in IPv6. So we understand we having the multiple type of the addresses, right? We having the link local, like global, unique global, global unicast. So we understand global unicast similar to the public IP address, right? It is going to travel anywhere. No NAT is going to require from one device to another device. If you're going to talk about the link local, that is like acting as a like your private IP address. It is not going to travel outside of the network, right? So these are the type which can be used, right? Unique local also, it is going to be like similar to the private IP address, right? And link local is again is a kind of the private IP address, but it's just limited to the link. And by using that link addresses, we can just configure the IP addresses on the interfaces. So I'm going to show you how it is going to look like. So let me see. Okay. So global unicast, like private, again IP address, every interface having their private IP address, but they are non-routable. Link local are not routable, but we can assign these addresses on the interface to make them routable. How it is going to happen? I'm going to tell that. Okay. So we having a lot of things like we understand about the EUI IP address. So what is that? So this is the extended unique identifier. So I explained that if I having the MAC address from the PC, right? Any MAC address from the not PC, even on the interface, right, of the router interface, we can convert those address into IP address. How it is going to happen? What is the process? We understand in this process, right? So I explained them past time, but let me just explain. So what is going to happen? The MAC address, whatever we have, right? This MAC address is need to be split in two part, okay? And that after splitting the number who is going to be, and here we have to add FF. This is a predefined formula. And the here the second part number again you have to add FF. So once you add, this is your new interface ID we call, right? And now you just have to change the seventh bit. Seventh bit means every field, every address having a 4 bit, right? So total is 16 bit. We understand, right? So 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0. Just I'm thinking 4 4 4. But this is not actual. 1 is equal to 0 0 0 1. 2 is equal to 0 0 1 0. So what is my seventh bit? 0 0 0 1 0 0 and 1 0. So in that case 4, and this is fifth, this is 6, this is 7. 7 is 1, so we have to change 0. So this will become, this is the new address. So it is going to be here 1034. So this is how it is going to be changed. So let me just show you how it is going to happen. So this is extended identifier, just configuring the interface to just make them, routable, right? So let me just open the lab, CCNA lab, so I can just try to configure, and because we understand theoretically in very details, we'll try to configure this all. So let me open the lab. Watch these two video together, right? When you have the recap, I'll try to make these two video in the sequence. So previous one and this one, then you'll get the full understanding if you're having any problem. What happened? Uh, I don't know what happened. Why not opening anything, even screen on for me? I don't know what happened. Let me see what happening here. Okay, now everything is back. Okay, finally everything is back. So let me just close multiple windows. And let me just open a lab. So one thing I assigned like previous class, right? How IP address, you can see here in this particular section, if you're seeing that, let me just go here. Or let me just open this, okay? This interface itself having the IPv6, right? And how we configured, we know about that. So this router interface, let me just make as a host name R1. So R1 and do right. So if I'm going here, show interface gig 0 by 0 by 0, right? Gig 0 by 0 by 0. This is the interface. So you can see we configured the IP address on this particular interface, and this IP address is it is not showing on this particular, because the interface always showing the MAC address. So IP address is not showing, but if you run the command show run, you'll find that this is the IP address. So this IP address configured on this particular interface, and similar, we configured the IP address on this PC. So let me show you this PC also. Sorry. So I'm going here. Hold on. Why you keep getting some naughty stuffs? So desktop terminal, right? This PC, if I just check it, IP config. So we configure this IP address. So you can see this IP address and this IP address, they belong to same. This is a link local IP address, and this is not routable. And this is the IP address. See, this is the IP address actual. So one assign here. See, these numbers are same. From here to here, these two numbers are same, but 1 and 2. So if I'm going to ping from here, the 1, right? This one should be pingable. See, it is reachable. So this is how we can configure the IP address on the interface. So we having a reachability from this PC to this. But can we configure the same thing for between these two PC for IPv6? Yes, we can. So let me just open this router also, and I will try to configure the IPv6. So this is the R1. So R1, I'll go there, and this is host name. I'll put as a R2 here, and I'll go on the interface, right? Interface. For interface, this is the gig 0 by 0 by 1, 0 0 0 1. This is the gig 0 by 1. Now I have to enable IPv6 first. IPv6. I have to enable IPv6. After I have to do IPv6 address. And now I have to define the address. So having a lot of option, we can define the link local address, which is by default on the address. So let me show you. Once I enable the IPv6, and if I'm going to run show run interface, gig 0 by 0 by 0 by 1, it is not going to run. So let me just run this way. So this 0 by 0 by 1, it is not showing link local for time being, but should be visible. Let me try to configure it. Let me just try to do no shut. One no shut, right? So run configuration. So still not, right? So these are GNS, but actual devices, the link local is going to show you. It is definitely going to show you. There is no even but, okay? But this is a GNS, it is not going to show. Let me just try some actual devices, but I have to open. Let me open some other router. Admin. So this lab is on fully. So let me just go on this router and show IP interface brief. So I can use this address, show run interface. So let me just IPv6 enable IPv6 no shut. Link local should be visible. Let me just check it again. Okay, let me just configure one IP address here. So interface gig 0 by 3 IPv6 address. Let's use this. Okay. So let me just check it again. It's not showing link local address here by default on the router also. Gig 0 by 3. IPv6 address. It should be auto. But we can configure it also. Here is getting option for the configure link local address. But in real world, it's getting automatically. Let me just check it in Google. IPv6 link local, right? So these are the. Let me see this documentation. Okay, so this is the link local address. we have to assign this address, and by assigning this address, we can calculate the different address. So let me just use this one for just testing purpose in my lab. So this is my router. This one is the one router. 64, right? And this is also 64. Leave it. Let me just configure it the plane. First, let me test that and then we'll think about it. So router 0 and router 1, leave it. Let's focus on our. I'll explain link local. So this is my R1 and this is my R2. Okay. So my lab is this one. So let me just do the configuration. So interface this time will be 0 by 0 by 1. So I will go here, interface gig 0 by 0 by 1. IPv6 enable, right? IPv6 address. And I can use the address. What I can use? I can use this time 201, any global address, that is routable address. And here 123. So I can use simply what? I can use I just reverse it, right? So I'll use 645 here and then 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Then A, B, C, D, right? Colon, I'll use 2/64, right? So this is my one side address, okay? So I will make no shut. And now I'll go here. You can use any address from this range. And after going, what interface is there? 0 by 0 by 1. So I will go here 0 by 0 by 1. IPv6 enable. First thing you have to do, IPv6 enable, right? IPv6 address, and what address? Same address, but IP is going to be changed from this is the two. This is the network address and this is the IP address. The first 64 bit is a network address and the last is the IP address. So here I'll just going to use the 1. Okay. So let me just do 1, right? No shut. No shut. So now I have the both interface having the IP address. So let me show you show run. So you'll see this is the 001 interface. This is the IP address and the same subnet we define here also. Show run. This is the another subnet. This is and this is. So see, this is the address network and this is the IP address .2. This is the network address. Just think about, and this is the IP address, right? You can think subnet marks as /64. So this is something noticing your subnet is /24. Your network is your subnet is /64. Is representing half of the part of the network and half of the part is the host. Similar. So now if I'm trying to ping, right? So if I go here and ping. How can you ping this from router to router? So you have to write ping IPv6, right? Not IP, IPv6. You have to mention in front of the device IP address. So I'll go here and I'll put here. So it's not pinging, okay? Show IP interest brief. This 0001. This is also up, but it's not pinging 000. And this is 000. Let me check it first from here. Ping IPv6. Let me make it simpler. I believe there is something wrong with the addressing. Just okay, there is no problem. Why it's not pinging? Let me remove this. Okay. Let me just do this way. Okay. And show run. I'll just use a smaller IP address. So not going to be too much confusion. Let me try with this. So no shut. Let me use no shut. Right. Let me just try to ping IPv6. Very strange why it's not pinging. Okay, this is not pinging. Let me try to another interface which is able to ping to the PCs. Let me check for 001. 000. So show run interface gig 0x0x0. Show run. So this is the IP address. Okay. Ping IPv6. Okay. So it is pinging by on, but another address is not pinging. Okay, let me just use some other address range. This is not pinging. And same configuration, right? Let me do in this way. How can I do that? Okay, let me just take the reference actual configuration. I will try to do that from that way only. So we having this is the link local address. So let me just use this address. Okay. Let me use this address for one device configuration. Configuration interface gig 0x0x1 IPv6 address. Okay. So, oh, no, it's right. Let me just remove it. Okay, let me just ping IPv6. What is the address is? This is the address. Let me just ping it first. Yeah, now it's pinging. I don't know what was the issue with that address. Even I am not sure still. It should work. But let me just use same range address, another range. So I'll go on another PC and IPv6 address. I'll use .2 here, right? And I'll just put no. Oh, there is an address 2 time. This could be the one issue. It's address 2 time. I don't know what was happen, but let me just check it now. IPv6 ping IPv6, right? And just let me ping self IP address first. It is pinging. Now let me ping one. So see, we're having a reachability. So I believe something was a typo between the devices, but finally we, won the battle. There is no problem, right? So what next? So the next is, right, we having this subnet which is connected between these devices, right? From which devices? Between these two devices. Now I will configure this also, right? And we'll try to make the reachability. So let me just go on 001 router again. So I'll go on the 001 router and I'll use this range of the IP address. So might be I'll use this one, okay? This one. So I'll assign this IP address interface gig 0x0x0 IPv6 enable IPv6 address, and I will assign this, okay? And then after I will make it no shut. Okay, so this link is up. Now I'll go in the PC. I'll go and PC. I will go in the desktop IP configuration. I will go in the IPv6 and I'll put here as a 2. Okay, and this should be 64 should be here. So I'll put the 64 is here, and that's all. Okay, so if I go here, desktop. Let me just go IP config. So this is the IP address. So in this PC, this 2 is defined here, 1 is defined here. So let me just ping dot 1. Okay, first. So if I'm going to ping, so, see this PC able to ping this. But what is the IP address of this interface? We having a different IP address. Shall we ping that IP address? Let me just try it. So I'll go here, and what is the IP address of this interface? The IP address of this interface is this one. 001. So this was the IP address. See 1.1.2, right? And here was the 2.1.2. Okay, so this is 1 dot. This is a different network. So let me just do it. So I'll just copy it, right? I'll copy and I will try to ping from here. Here. And this is not pingable, right? This is not ping. We are getting the RTO. We are getting the RTO. This might be the routing table doesn't having this routes. Let me just check what is showing the routing there. IP show IPv6 route. So we can see this is directly connected, right? This is directly connected. Which one? This network is directly connected, which is the IP is this network, right? And this is locally. And what about this one? This is the local, but it is not showing directly connected. Why? Show IPv6 interface brief. So 000, and now it starts showing the link global. See, this is the link local IP address. Earlier we were seeing that it was not showing, but after assigning that IP address, now it starts showing the link local address. So this was the same I was looking for. So this is the link local IP address. See, and this is the actual IP address which I assigned to the interface. So this is the link local IP address, and this is the actual. So you can say this is the IP address we assign. This is a link local, and this is we assigned on the another interface. So 1 by 1 and 2 by 2. So we'll use this address also. So IPv6 route. So we're having a two network. One is this one and one is this one, right? But if I'm trying to ping from here, right, it is not working. Earlier, if I'm trying to this one, it is working the gateway because we define the gateway. Why it is not working? Because we not define the gateway, right? So in PC, if I'm going here, let me just go in the PC. So PC need a gateway. So we configure the IP address. What is the gateway? Gateway not configured. So we have to configure the gateway. So this is the gateway. So gateway is fine. Now I'm going to CMD. And if I check the IP config, so we having the gateway as well. So if I am trying to ping now this IP address, which is the configure on this interface, this 0 by 1. This interface IP address is this one, this one. So I have this IP, which is belong to this network, this network. So let me just try to ping because earlier gateway was not there. So let me just ping this IP address. What is the, this is 1.2. Okay. So see, it is start pinging. So this IP start pinging from this PC. We start pinging to this IP address. From here, we having reachability till here and till here. But can we ping this IP address? Let's try. So this interface IP address, let me show you again so you guys can understand. This 001 interface IP address is this one. See, 2000 db811.2, and same thing I'm pinging, and it is pinging. But this side we configure .1. So if I'm going to ping .1, it is not going to ping because we need a static route toward this PC. Okay, so we just have to add a static route. So how the static routing is going to happen? Understand. So static routing is going to happen in this way. So I'll go in the router 0 and I just go in the configuration T, and we just have to use this syntax, right? IPv6 route. Okay, so let me just copy it for you guys reference. I'll make the configuration, I'll paste it. So understand carefully what I'm going to sell. So let me just clear the screen. So my this PC is not able to reach. This PC is not able to reach. Where is the PC? Let me just move down. Yeah. So this PC is not able to reach this address. Why? Because once the packet is going to form, we having a source address. What is the source address? This PC. And what is the network of this PC? This PC network having 2000. Let me show you. This PC having this IP address. this one 2000 db 2.1.2 colon 2, right? So this PC having different network and you are trying to different network. So once the packet will leave from this router to this router, it will try to check the reverse routing. So the reverse routing is not available. Similar to the static routing, that's why it's not pinging. So we just have to do the reverse routing. So how the reverse routing is going to happen? So first thing, you just have to route IPv6 route, and then you have to write the network. What is my network? This is my network, right? So I'll just use this network, right? So let me just use. So network is this. I'll just replace this IP and I'll just use 64 because this is just 64. It is just replacing the your network ID. So always when you do the routing, it's going based on the network. So all IP is going to be configured. And what is the next hop? So next hop is this IP address, which is configured here. So what is IP address configured here? This IP address is this one. This one. So I'll just put this as a IP address. So this is IP address. So you can just copy this, right? And after copying, just go on the R1, right? And if you go in the R1, just paste it. So now we're having a route. If you go and check, so IPv6 route, right? So we're having one static entry. So if this PC, this computer want, this router want to reply to this particular PC, last one, it is going to use this static route. So let me try. Earlier, I have a connection from this PC to this PC and to this interface, this router to this interface, but now I should try to reach out this, see if this is able to reply to me. So I'm going to just again, this was the last, which not reply, but let me just ping again. No reply again. Let me see. .2 we having reply, okay. And we having a IP route. Let me just check it. What mistake we have make? This is the 201, right? DB 2.1, 2.264. Okay, should have the reply. Why it's not having the reply? So ping IPv6, right? Let me just try to ping .1 IP address from here. Yeah, it's pinging. What about .2? .2 not pinging. .2 not pinging. So this PC able to ping, but this is not able to ping. Why so? Okay, let me just complete the lab. We'll troubleshoot it. No problem. Pingable. So now we just done the static routing till this to this. Okay. So we done the routing from here to here and reverse routing here to here. Now come to this PC. Okay. So this PC, if I'm talking PC0, right? So where is the PC0? This one. So you can see again. But if you try to ping the IP address which is configured on this interface, gig 0 by 0 by 1, it should be not be pingable. Let me just go there. So not R2, I have to go in the R1. So R1 interface, let me just show you. This is the IP address. No, this is not IP address. Let me just show again. Show run. So show run is this is the IP address. Okay. So let me ping it. So if I am going to ping it, it is not going to ping because we not define the gateway yet. Okay. So gateway should be defined. So gateway for this IP, we having this kind of the IP address config. So this is the IP address dot 2. So dot 1 should be the gateway. So let me just configure the gateway. So I will go here in the IP configuration. I will go here in the gateway, and this is my dot 1 is the gateway. So now I'm good. So if I'm going here, just see my gateway is there. So now if I'm going to re-ping this IP address, so see it is going to be pingable. So see, now I have the reply. This PC able to reach till this address. But if I try to ping just its neighbor IP address, because we don't have the reverse route, so it is not going to ping. So let me show you again. So dot 2, it is not pingable. So what we have to do, we just have to do the reverse route again. For which source? The source is this one, this one. So let me just put it here on R1. I'll go in the R1 and I will just configure IPv6 route, right? This is in there, right? IPv6 route. No problem. This is same thing. And the gateway should be dot 1. Okay. So I'm just suspecting this is not supporting the IPv6 routing, else the logic is correct. There is no logic, so IPv6 route, IPv6 route. So you'll see here, this is the static route. Okay. So this is IP address which is configured on R0. Let me validate it. Yeah, this is the same thing. This address and this is the same. So let me just go it here again and try to ping. It is not pingable for some reason, but the static routing configuration is going to be same. Maybe it is not supporting, but the configuration is fine. There is no problem with the configuration because this is how even the documentation you have written. If you're having a topology, we just have to define the route in this way, forward and reverse route. See, this is a network. Two PCs are connected, right? And you just have to configure the IP address on these PCs. See, this is the PCs. So let me replicate this exact configuration so we don't have any confusion. So I'll just replicate. So let me just do one by one. So let me just go on the PC. Where is the route configuration? Yeah, let me just go here. Try to do same configuration. So let's go in the configuration desktop programming here. I'm just suspecting this is a issue with this particular GNS, right? So this is the IP address 2000.001, right? 11.AA, right? Colon will use 1, right? /64. So this is the PC IP address and not 1. Here we use the 2, right? So we'll use the 1 as a gateway, right? So let it be. This is the command terminal. If I'll go IP config, you'll see this is the IP address. Now go on the router. So R0. This one is a router. So let me just go here. Configure interface gig 0 by 0 by 0, right? Not 0, should be 0 by 0 by 0. Okay. No IPv6 address, right? And then IPv6 address, and this should be the address, right? So done. Let me ping the PC IPv6. What is the address? This is PC address, and it is pinging route. So we are good till here. Now I have another interface, this one, right? So I'll use the same address from as per topology to just avoid any mistakes. So this is the interface gig 0 by 0 by 1, right? No IP v6 address, right? And then I'll use the IPv6 address. And what is the address? This is the 12. So I'll use 12 here, dot 1, right? 64, right? No shut. Now I'll go on the other router. This is the router 1. I will go on the interface gig 0 by 0 by 1, no IP address, right? I'll use the IP, no IPv6 address, right? I'll use the IPv6 address, and this should be 2 because 1 configured here, so it's a 12.2. So this is 12.2 slash 64, right? No shut. If I try to ping it here from this to this, let me see it is pingable or not. So let me just IPv6. See, it is pingable. So these two routers start pinging. Now it's time to PC. But this also interface we have, see 33 one, right? So this will be the again interface gig 0 by 0 by 1, right? This is should be the 0 by 0 by 1. Let me see topology again. No, 0 by 0 by 0. Okay, 1 already configured, right? 0 by 0 by 0. So this no IPv6 address, right? We done this. And then after what we have to do, we just have to configure this. IPv6 address. I pasted. This is a 33.a. Okay. So 33.a. And this is going to be 1 and 64. Okay. No shit. Now it's time to the end PC. So this is a PC. So let me just go there. IP configuration here, and then I will just go here and define this IP address 33.2, right? And the gateway would be 33.1, 64 already there, right? So it's okay. So I will go here, command prompt, and let's see if this PC is able to ping or not. So IP config. So this is fine. So ping the gateway first. It's reachable or not. So gateway is reachable. Now ping to 12.2. So this should be 2 and 12. So it is pingable. So this PC able to reach this, but this 12.1 it won't be reachable. Let me show you. Not reachable. So we have to do the routing. So see how routing is done. So these all IP address has been defined. There is no problem. Only we just have to define this R1 and R2. See, this is the routing we have to do. So let me just do as per this, right? So we just have to do R1 and R2, right? So where is R1? R1, R2. Okay, so what they are doing, IPv6 and 12, and they have defined for the 11. Okay, same thing we are doing. There's no problem. The same thing I was doing, and exactly the same steps next up also. So, so what I'll go, I will go on the R1. This is the R1, right? So let me just define as per the configuration here. So I'll go here and I'll define the IP v6 route, right? See, this command is not taking. This is a problem, okay? Because it should take, but let me just try. as per document. So we will sure there is no issue with the configuration. There is issue with the router is not supporting. Okay. So this is the R1 and it is saying if you want to go 22, but we don't have 22. We have 33 now. We don't have 22. We have 33. Yes, 33. We never configure the 22. 11, 12, 33. It should be 33, not 33, not 22. Okay, this is the one side route. Okay. And another side route should be the 11 one. Okay. So R2, we have to go R2 here. And we just have to go there. And I just have to paste it here. So we are going 11. And this time the hope would be this one. But this is the 11. Okay. So this is done. So forward routing, reverse routing. We put the IP for this network, right? So this is the network 2011 dot this next hop, this IP address. For this one, we want to put reverse for this network, this network, right? And next hop is this one. This is fine, okay? So let me just test it. If it is not going to work, no problem. The configuration is absolutely fine. Because the command is also not taking so little bit time. So one is still not pinging, but two is pinging. So leave it. So this is how static routing is going to configure, but it's not working. It doesn't mean the configuration having problem because see, this is the same configuration they have done, but what they have done because they have just done, for the wrong network. 11 is fine. This is the 11 is fine, but this should be 33, not 22. But they mistaken user 22, right? The document is not set valid, and this is the what routing. So if you check the routing in routing table, this is going to show this kind of static routing and all. So let me say the static default route. Let me just use the default route also. Let me try with default route. It is working or not. So I'll just allow everything. Let me see. Default routing. Let me just configure it. So IPv6 route, right? It is not taking the command, and then just this and 0, and next hop would be the this one. This taken. Okay, let me just go on the R2. R2 I'll use the same thing, but next hop would be the change. This is how you can configure the default static, but next hop would be the .1. Okay, but still I'm going to ping. Let me see if pinging or not. Oh, default route is start pinging. Oh, great. No. It is something. One is not one. One was not pinging, right? So one we have to test. Two is because two is configured here. We are testing from this PC. So let me just test one. So one is not pinging. Even default route not pinging. Okay. So this is how default route in a static route is going to be configured. There is no problem. This is a completely fine, no configuration issue. Only this device is not supporting. There else it is going to pingable. Okay. The configuration is absolutely fine. So this is how we can configure the static route, right? So you guys can access this documentation. Every step is written how it is going to happen. Now let's talk about the link local address. That is the most important part, which I need to cover it today. Let's take a few minutes. Okay. So if I want to assign the IP address on these two interfaces, right? These two interfaces, not manually, right? Not manually. I just want to assign whatever the MAC address available on the particular interface. By using the MAC address, I want to assign the IP address. So will it be possible? So let me just use the router first one. So initially, let me just show here interface gig 0 by 0 by 0 by 0 by 1, right? No IP address, no IPv6 address. So there's no IPv6 address now. Okay. So if I'm going to show IPv6 interface, brief. You can see this interface. This is 0 by 0, not having IP address. This one is again up, but there is one IP address. Why? Let me just see again. I remove the IP address. There is no IP address, but still it's showing the IP address. It is going to go away. Might be this for some time it is going to show. So this is the one address you can see here. This is the one address. It is available on the interface, right? So if I want to use this address, we know this is the link local address. I want to use this address as a interface IP address, both side. Will it possible? Let's try it. I'm just going to use on this interface. No, this is 0 by 0, 1. There is no IP address. You can see 0 by 0 having the IP address, which I will define. Right? This is the IP address. This is a 11, right? This is the link local IP address. There is no any IP address configure. So I want to assign the IP address on this interface by using the link local IP address. FE is always going to link local IP address. FE, whenever see the FE IP address, it always going to act as a link local IP address. Let me stop this lab first. So this is always going to act as a link local IP address. So if I'm going here and I just want to generate one IP address based on the link local IP address, will it possible? Let me just go there. So interface here, right? IPv6 address, right? I'll just copy this address, link local, right? And I'll just put, let me see. This is already created address, so it is not creating. Okay, let me just use this. Mm, 12, right? And no option is coming. EU address is not supporting there. Let me just see here again. Let me just use here. Check. Again, the option is not coming. So I'm trying to generate the IP address automatically. So where it is? See, this is the command. It should be supported. It should be supported, but not supporting some region. Let me show you again. Let me try to put this again. Like even this same IP address 201 DB 8 AAA 100/64 EUI. Oh, it is taking. Okay. Let me just try again. What was the address? This was the address. Let me use. This is the address, right? EUI address. Okay. So somehow it was not taking, but now it's taking. So what is happening on this router? I'm just giving one IP address. Okay, this one. But you'll see after using this EUI 64, how this IP address is going to be changed and how this IP address is going to generate with the help of the interface MAC address. Okay, this is the key thing we have to understand. So once I put it here, so it is overlapping with 00. Okay, so let me just put some 12, not. So I'll put 12. So now it's taken. And if I'm going to see this IP I've given, let me just take a note. You'll see the magic. So this IP I have given, but there is no IP address. Just I give this particular network command. But if I go show IPv6 address, interface address or brief, you'll see this 001, right? This 001 having this IP address. You can see this IP address. So how this IP address has been defined? How this IP address has been defined? So let me just explain. So we given this IP one of the network range, and by the help of the MAC address, which is available on the interface. So let me just tell you the MAC address. The show interface gig 0 by 1, right? What is the MAC address of this interface? This is the MAC address. See, this is the MAC address. So EUI that is going to derive the IP address, IPv6 address, with the help of the MAC address, if we are going to use this particular EUI 64 command, right? So this is the EUI 64 command, always known as extended unique identifier, which is going to use your any of the network address, and it is going to make you the any unique IP address. So I just use the IP address, any random series you can use it, network you just give it, and it is going to calculate the IP address. And this is the big IP they calculated. So how they calculated, understand it. So what is going to happen? Whatever the MAC address you have, right? The rule is saying whatever the MAC address you have, just split in two parts. So this is the middle. So I split this way, okay? And just put what FF here and FF here. So see, this is the MAC address. This is the same formula, right? And after doing the FF, what we have to do? What we have to do? So we having this MAC address. See, where is the MAC address? See, 9204, right? You see, 004, they make this 204 because it is falling on this particular segment, right? So they make it this 204, and here they are, everything is same. So after you can see, this is the everything is same. So total IP is how many bits? 16 and 16. How many? It's a 32. And MAC address is 48. So if you do the calculation, right? So 32 plus 64. It's more than, 64, 32 bit is extra here, right? So total should be, your total bit should be the 4 octet, but here is the multiple octet because of 48, sorry, 48 plus 36. Let me just 48 plus, this is the 32. So 32. So it's 80. 80 minus how many bit extra we have? 64. We have 16 bit extra, right? So the 16 bit extra we have, these are going to merge together. So these are going to remain same. The first is going to remain same. The first octet is 16 is going to remain same. But this 12A, right? 12AA, and this one, these two are going to be, change according to these 2 bits, right? So one is like, you can see, this is the half, this is the fix. So this is how many bits? 16, 16, 32, right? And now we having the IP address. This is my network IP address. This is become my network IP address. And after that, they change the IP address in this format. And how it is going to change? So this all 3 section is going to be same. There is no change, but we have to change this in the different format in terms of the binary, right? So binary is saying 7th bit we have to change. So 000, right? So we having 000. If we talk about, so it is going to happen in this way. So 000. Let me just 000 and 0000. No, not 0. So this one is going to happen this. The first 4 is 0. Second is also going to be 0, right? So once it is going to be 0, so if I am going to make it 7th bit as a 1, so here is going to be 7th bit. So first all 0, right? 6, 7, and 0. It's a 1. It's a 1 and 0. So now we having this number. So if we convert this into decimal, right? So we'll get this values, right? And after that, this is going to become this number 204, and this is the actual number. So this 4 is going to remain 4. So this 4 is going to remain 04 is going to remain, right? And if you convert this one, so it is going to give you the number like 2, right? It should be this number. It's it should be this, not 20. Okay, so 0 they remove, 0 they remove, first 0 they remove. Okay, this is the same. So 0 always you can omit. So you can think 0 is always removed. So this is the number. So actual calculation is going to happen this way. So let me re-explain. Okay, it's between little bit confusion. So let me re-explain you. Okay, so you guys can understand. So how this has been derived. Okay, so I'll make it very simpler for you. So one thing, how this EUI work. So whatever the network address. So we define this is a network address. See, this is the network address. So whatever the network address, this is not going to change. So this is always going to this way. Okay. This is always going to this way. So this is a 64-bit address they are going to represent. But we required the host bit, right? So host bit also should be the 64-bit, right? But we having the MAC address, which is the just 48 bits, right? So to make it 64-bit, whatever the MAC address we have, this is the MAC address, right? Let me just again show you the MAC address. This was the MAC address from the PC. This was the MAC address. So to make it 64, this is the 48. You can see 16 in first host, first bit, 16 and 16. You just have to convert in the binary. 0 convert in the binary, it becomes the 40. 4 convert in the binary, it is going to look like 0, 1, 0, 0. This is the 4. So this is how the first octet looks like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So if you count total 16, so this is the first value, right? Similarly, you have to convert this also in the 0, 0, 0, right? So make it the 64-bit. We just have to divide in 2 parts, and we just have to add FF here and add FF here, and just make in between this notation this way. So this is become now 64-bit address, right? So once you're having 64-bit, what you have to do? You just have to figure out 7th bit from the beginning. So how the 7th bit? The first 0 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. And second 0, again you convert 0, 0, 0, 0, right? These two leave it because it's already become the 8th bit, and you're just checking for the 7th bit. So what is my 7th bit? 7th bit is this one. So if it is a 0, make it 1. If it is a 1, make it 0. This is the logic. So if I'm going to make it 7th bit, so the last for all bit are going to remain same, but this is going to become 1 and 0. So this is your value, right? So now you just have to divide in 2 parts, right? So this 0 all going to become a 0. There's no change. This 0, 0, and this 1. So it 1, it is going to equal to 2, right? So it is going to equal to 2, right? And already we having the 4, 0, 4. So you just add 0, 4. So this is the value. And now just append these addresses as it is. So this is your new IP just going to be created from the machine. So this is a new IP. So we make this 10 into binary. So if you convert this all value in the decimal, it will become the 2 number. If you convert this all, it is going to be 0. And this 4, so this is your IP address become, and this is the same what the machine calculated, right? So this is your IP address. You can remove this 0 while writing the IP address. It become the 204. There is no problem. So it's a pretty easy, but you just have to understand. So little bit you have to do the practice. So let's do another step. So we assign the IP address in this router. So let me show you again. So IPv6 address interface brief. So this is the IP address we get automatic. Now I'm going to another router. What is my another router? So this is the R1, right? R1. So again, I have to assign the IP address similar way. So let me just go on the R1, right? So I'll just take again. Let me just see the store and configuration. So if I'm going to configuration 001, so first let me remove the IP address which is available. So this is the last thing we'll do because we'll very much clear about the everything. Even this is a part of CCNP, no need to worry. But I'm explaining because I thought you guys should know this. So this is like at the site. I'll just take the same network. I'll just use the same network, what I use, because I want to make the network consistent. So I'll use this network, right? So this is my network, right? So I will use this network. What I'll use IPv6 address and /64 EUI address 64. See, so this is a network, and see, this is going to drive the IP address by using the MAC address on this interface. So let me show you the first MAC address, and then I'll show you the IP address. So if I'm going there, you'll see this is the MAC address. See, this is the MAC address. Let me just copy it in the second PC MAC address. So this is the MAC address. Now I have to convert this MAC address into IP address. How it is going to happen? I have to divide it two parts. And first I'll just FF. Let me just write here. Let me just, yes. So this should be two part. This is the FF and this is also FF. And in middle, I'll just use this. This has become 64 bit, right? This has become 64 bit. Now what I have to do, I just have to change the 7th bit 0 to 1. So see here, all 8 bit are, 0, 0. So 7th bit, which is 7th bit, this is the 7th bit, so 1. So now if I convert the decimal, so this is going to 0 and this is a 2, 0, C. 0 C is going to happen this way. So this is your new IP address, right? So you can just remove the 0 from this address. So it is going to become look like this, and you can just add this IP address, this network address in here. So this will be your actual IP address, right? This will be the actual IP address. So let's see if the router is calculating the same IP address as per our understanding. So IPv6 interface brief, and see, this is the IP address router is calculating, and this is the IP address we calculated. Are they looking the same? Exactly the same, no changes. This is how we calculate the IP address. So you just have to understand the formula. I didn't check even the IP address, but I just calculated because we having the known formula here. So if I just try to ping right from this router, right? So ping IPv6 it and just use to ping this IP address. Let me just say it is pinging. So no IP address I defined it, but it just make the IP address with the help of the MAC address and I'm able to ping. There's no problem. So this is how EUI IP address is going to be configured and how it is going to be done, right? So that's all from my side, and I covered everything from my side about that. IPv4, IPv6, nothing is pending from my side, and entire syllabus has been covered, right? IPv6, even static routing is covered. This only you have to know, no other thing you just have to do. The static routing we covered, there's no problem. Default routing we know, network routing covered, host routing we covered, floating routing is again a static routing. So we just done in the IPv4 all things, and IPv6 we just the static routing we done. So this is well covered. And if I'm going in the first module and we having the IPv6, so in IPv6 we understand this address type global, this is the public IP address, unique local is again like the acting as a private IP address, link local is a unique IP address. On every interface, non-routable IP address. By the help of the link local, we can generate the link IP address, which become the routable. We know Anycast meaning, we know multicast meaning because we explain. We know what is the EUI 64, which is done right now. So this was the again, you just have to know, but I just the labs. So you understand because these are the CCIE things in CCNP, but I just thought let's show you something additional to you, all right? So I believe everything is covered from my side, but if you guys feel anything need to be recap, just let me know. Okay, just go with the syllabus, just drop the message to Abhishek sir, or right, you might, uh, let me just, share the email. You can just write anything, info@guinet.com, right? So definitely we look from you, and also you guys can drop message 9289682701, right? Just let me just here, +919289682701, okay? Or you can just add here 03, okay? Anytime you can just drop in a message, I have this kind of the problem, this kind of doubt. And also I will recommend next CCNA class, whenever it's going to happen, right? I'm going to cover each and everything. No problem for that, okay? So everything I'm going to cover, right, for CCNA, and you guys are invited to join. Anything else, or we are good for today?
It's good. So
Good?
I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, please tell me.
Is there any way possible, like you can do only the labs for us so that we can understand from the beginning, the lab, just a lab?
Just lab. Okay. So just, come up with the topic. What all labs you want? Definitely I'll do. No problem for you. Yeah, it's
Uh,
absolutely fine.
and
So there is
I mean, the,
a static
yes,
routing lab, static
yeah,
routing lab.
yeah. Mm-hmm. I
We
mean, like
having the
from the
OSPF
very
lab,
beginning, yeah. Just a
OSPF
recap for
lab,
everything lab.
right? We having that IPv6 lab, right? We having the STP, RSTP lab. Okay. So let's set the agenda for per week. Okay. So you guys tell me what lab you want to know first, or you want to go with me in the beginning.
Uh, I want to go from the beginning.
Okay.
Yes, sir. From the beginning,
Okay.
please.
Okay. So in this section, we don't have any lab. Okay. The first section is pure, theory. So next we can connect on the Monday. Okay. Tomorrow take a break.
Mhm.
Okay. And we connect on the Monday, and I'll try to do some switching labs. Okay. First. Make sense?
Okay, sure.
Okay. Switching
Okay.
labs we'll do.
Yes.
Okay. I'll explain
Yes, sir.
how the lab is going to happen for switching and all. And then I will do the routing labs. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
sir.
sure.
Okay. No problem. Thank you. Thank you, guys. See you on Monday. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.